Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead Podcast, and welcome to the Bonehead Dungeon Bowl Championship. Dungeon Bowl takes the carnage of Blood Bowl and places it underground. Two teams will face off against each other, and with the aid of wizards and teleporters, they will need to evade the opponent and magical traps, find the ball and get the score. And in Dungeon Bowl, the first score wins. This series will see each of the 8 colleges of magic compete against each other in 7 knockout matches to find the first Bonehead Dungeon Bowl Championship champion. This is the series preview video that we do before we do each of those series, and what we're going to do today is we are going to break down the format of the show. We're going to introduce each of the teams, and most importantly of all, we are going to talk about the viewer championship. So this series will take place over 7 knockout games. You've got 4 games in the first round, and the winner goes through and the loser goes home. Then the top 4 teams, the 4 remaining teams, will face off against each other in the semi-final round, and the 2 remaining teams will face off to be our first Bonehead Dungeon Bowl Championship champion. And in the first round, we will be having the College of Beasts take on the College of Metal. That will be game 1, which will be coming up next weekend. Game 2 will be Light versus Life. So a bit of a light matchup there, but we'll talk through that a little bit more when we look at the teams. Game 3 will be the College of Fire against the College of Heavens. That one's going to be a little bit of bash versus dash. And we'll finish off the inaugural round, the round 1, with Shadow versus Death. A very interesting mix of teams there with some very fun spells. So what we'll do is we'll take the winner from 1 and 3 and they'll play each other, and the winner between 2 and 4 and they will play each other in the semi-finals. So the winner of Beasts and Metal will take on the winner of Fire and Heavens, and so on and so forth. But we talked a lot about colleges, so why don't we have a look and introduce all of the teams. First up is the College of Beasts. Now this roster is all about big guys. We've got a Bloodspawn and 2 Croxagores. The Bloodspawn has received one of the skills for the team and has got horns, so we'll be blitzing around at strength 6 with Frenzy, Claws and Mighty Blow. 2 Chaos Blockers will back up those 3 big guys, and both of those have got block standard upgrades. And we've got 6 Chaos Beastmen on the roster, 1 with Leader to get an all-important extra reroll, and 1 with Big Hand, which allows them to pick up the ball without basically worrying about tackle zones. 1 free reroll takes this College of Beasts roster to 1 reroll plus the Leader reroll, and that is it. And the College of Metal is all about blitzers and blockers. This team has been lovingly painted by Milton, and you will see Milton on the show competing. We've got 4 human blitzers here, 1 with jump up. We've got 3 Black Orc brawlers, all of them with guard. So absolutely maximizing that brawler guard combo just to make sure they are controlling those corridors. 1 Bloodseeker on this roster has been upgraded with the block skill. 4 Goblin Bruisers round out this roster, 3 rerolls, 12 people on this team. And the College of Light has been painted by Bloodtithe himself. It's got 2 Elven Throwers, 1 with the accurate upgrade, so passing 1+ please. 2 Elven Blitzers, both with dodge. That combines very nicely with their skills to make them blodge step, which is going to be aggravating in the corridor. 2 Elven Catchers, going to be using that movement 8, strength 3 to run around. And poor man's Elf Catcher here with 1 Human Catcher also on the roster. Again, still movement 8, but strength 2 makes them pretty vulnerable. 3 Nobility Linemen there, 1 of them with guard forms the basically strength element of this roster. 2 Elven Linemen for some more Edge 2 nonsense. 1 of them does have Portal Navigator, allowing him to re-roll the portal when they go through the portal. And the team is capped off with 3 re-rolls. Our College of Life team has been painted by multiple award-winning painter and friend of the show, Ian Warhammer, and it is quite a team. We've got 2 Treemen here, 1 with block, 1 with brawler, 1 wood elf thrower, 2 war dancers, 1 with sidestep and 1 with tackle, 2 wood elf linemen, 2 Snotling linemen, 2 Halfling linemen. Now one of them's been upgraded with diving tackle to just force the opponent to think twice about dodging past him instead of just punching him in the face. 1 Fungus Flinger could be awesome, no secret weapon when you are playing Dungeon Bowl. And 1 Halfling Catcher rounds out this roster. 3 rerolls gives them plenty of staying power. 13 players, all of this team lovingly converted. We've got Dryads, we've got little wood spites being the Snotlings. It's a very cool team and a huge mix of players. The College of Fire, another team painted by Bloodtithe himself. We've got 2 Dwarf Blitzers, both with Guard. 2 Dwarf Runners, 1 Troll Slayer with Mighty Blow +1, so going to be using that block, Frenzy, Dauntless, and probably the Guard of the Dwarf Blitzers there to throw a ton of dice and hopefully cause a ton of carnage. But that's not even the strong bit of this roster. We've got 2 Ogre Blockers, and both of them have also got Guard, so should be seeing a really tight-knit defense here from the College of Fire. 3 Khorne Marauders give very cheap access to Frenzy, so that's the Troll Slayer, and 3 Marauders, that's 4 Frenzy players here, with 4 Guard players that are able to hopefully give them enough strength to pull it off. And then backed up by 3 tiny Gnoblars, able to go around, get anywhere they want, open those treasure chests, and just hopefully find the ball. And backed up with 3 rerolls, 13 players, the College of Fire. The College of Heavens has been lovingly painted by Miltonio Banderas himself and features Miltonio Banderas. So we've got 2 Nobility Blitzers. So these are human blitzers with fancy bits, making them fancy just like a Nobility Blitzer. One of them does have the dodge skill. 1 human thrower on this roster with Portal Navigator, again, hopefully going to be able to find exactly where he wants to go. 3 Saurus Blockers will max out the skills for this team, all of them getting block. That's movement 6, strength 4, block on 3 of these players. 5 Skink linemen there with stunty dodge, edge 3+, and movement 8 makes them absolutely lethal in Dungeon Town. And 4 rerolls is basically meaning this team is going to be able to pull off whatever it wants to. The College of Shadow is our way of demonstrating you don't need to custom build a team. We've built this team out of all of the teams used in the Bonehead Championship Season 1. So we've got 2 Skaven Blitzers, both of them with Guard, basically the only way to get strength skills on the College of Shadow. We've got 1 Skaven Thrower and all 4 Gutter Runners. One of them has been upgraded even further to get 2 heads, so we've got our own Hackflem on this roster. We've got 2 Witch Elves, both with block, and they will be represented by our War Dancer models. And we've got 3 Goblin Linemen and 2 rerolls on this roster. 12 players, 2 rerolls, 3 different teams coming together to get into the dungeon. Our College of Death team has been painted by Triple Pow Triplo himself. This is his team for Dorset Dungeon Bowl. We've got 1 Mummy, 2 Flesh Golems, 3 White Blitzers, 1 with Dodge and 2 with Frenzy, 3 Ghoul Runners, 2 with Block, 2 Skeleton Linemen and 2 rerolls. So only 11 players, but 1 Strength 5, 2 Strength 4 Stand Firm, 3 Block Blitzers, 2 with Dodge, 2 with Frenzy, 1 with Dodge, 3 Ghouls, 2 with Block. It's a really potent mix of brilliant players. Okay, so we've introduced the teams. Now, the format here when it comes to team size and skills allowed is exactly the same as Dorset Dungeon Bowl. So every Dungeon Bowl team, every pure college team will get a free reroll in that format. So each one of these rosters is basically 1,050,000 because they get that extra reroll stuck in there. We've given every team 5 skills, 1 double, 4 primary, 1 secondary and 4 primary skills to just allow that fun of roster building, to allow the players to get that fun juice right now without having to brew it up over several games. Now this tournament will be run in full resurrection mode. Casualties are great fun, but they will not count towards the next round. So if a mummy goes on a rampage and kills a bunch of goblins, those goblins are coming back, assuming that goblin team wins. So it's a really interesting mix. We love the rule set for Dorset Dungeon Bowl, and we just wanted to show it off because we feel like it gives every team a lot of fun things to do. Now talking about Dorset Dungeon Bowl, we'll will be using exactly the same maps as well, in exactly the same ways. So the first map will be used in the first round and in the final, and the second round, the semi-finals, will be using map 2. So let's have a quick look at those maps. So this will be map 1 and map 3 for Dorset Dungeon Bowl, which means it's going to be used in the first round of this championship and the final itself. The players will return to this map. Now, it is laid out in a symmetrical fashion. Basically, each team, where they're starting in the blue corner or the red corner, will have exactly the same amount of distance to travel as their opponents to get to the teleporters, to get to a treasure chest, which means it really comes down to choosing whether you want to go first or second to make the mad dash up there. Now, the great thing about this map is there are 3 angles, there are 3 corridors to each of the end zone rooms. So if you're going to be caging up and defending, you will have to stop your opponent coming from 3 different angles, and the way the map brews out, there's always 3 options when it comes to choosing which way to go. And this will be map 2, so only to be used in the semi-final rounds of this championship. Now, we've gone for the same 3 angles to each of the end zone rooms, so there will always be 3 corridors to defend against, but this map has 4 separate corridors of combat, so it's pretty spread out. The treasure chests and the teleporters are equal again. It is a symmetrical map again, so all teams will have the equal advantage and disadvantage to go in and getting what they need to get. But what you'll see with this map is that the action will go one end to the other, and hopefully gives the players a ton of option to do a reverse and just take it from one side of the map to the other. Okay, so we've talked through the format, we've talked through how the games are going to play, we've talked through the tournament format, we've talked through the teams, we've talked through every single bit apart from the Viewer Championship. Now, the Viewer Championship this time around is going to be a lot simpler than it was last time. We are going to be asking you to guess who wins each game on each preview video, and we'll give you 1 point if you get it right. Now, the way we're going to work it is that basically the top 24 coaches will win Bonehead loot. Now, all of the Bonehead Championship champion loot went out this week as we're filming, because it took a while to get here from the producers, which was quite cool, but bank holidays slowed it all down. Now we've got it here, which means we've already got the loot ready for this championship as well. So if you want to be the proud owner of a Bonehead Championship ball token, then get those guesses in on those previews, because that's where the fun happens. So the last thing to say is just that we've had a huge amount of fun playing Dungeon Bowl and filming these games. We've had technical issues, we've had audio dropouts, we've had cameras misaligned. There's going to be a few things when you're watching through that we haven't got as perfect as we'd like, but it's just been so much fun to play and film these games that we're going to share them anyway. So do not hesitate to share what you think we can do better, what you don't like, what you do like. Preferably what you do like, but it's important to us that we get better. We put a ton of effort into the graphics and to painting the teams and to filming the games, but that doesn't mean we don't want to keep driving on to make the best content we can. So please do not hesitate to let us know what you can do. I'm almost as excited about this series going live as I am the Dungeon Bowl tournament we've got coming up this Saturday. It's just a very good time to be a Blood Bowl fan. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Dungeon Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.